Today I want to talk about using strategy in your everyday life to face challenges that you didn't think were coming your way. In our lives, I feel like we fall into this rhythm or pattern where we get comfortable. We get comfortable, and then when life throws us a curveball, what a lot of us do is we shut down or fall into a depression or something like that, right? Your average person, when bullshit comes their way, typically doesn't know what to do. And I want to talk about using strategy to face these curveballs that you're going to get thrown in life. So I was just reading about John D. Rockefeller, the famous oil magnate. Well, this guy, he started off a company, Standard Oil. He started off real small. But this guy, he became basically the richest man in America. He became he owned a monopoly. And every time life threw him a curveball, every time his business faced a challenge, every time that there was a recession in the market or something like that, he used the power of Wu Wei. Now, what is Wu Wei? Wu Wei is when you take a positive or negative force and you flip it into your favor. So you could almost say Wu Wei is kind of like if someone threw a punch at you or they were coming to tackle you, that you would instead spin and use their own energy against them, just like in judo, right? Using someone's body weight or the way that they move to throw them, Basically, instead of blocking energy coming your way, negative energy, let's say there's someone trying to smear your name or something like that, instead you turn it into a positive thing. You take something that is hurting you and you turn it into something that is going to assist you. So that's the law of Wu Wei in a nutshell. Redirecting force, redirecting energy. So, how did Rockefeller use Wu Wei? Well, when the press came at him, instead of fighting the newspapers, instead of fighting the people talking bad about him, he did not try to fight back using traditional methods. Instead, he would retreat. He would reconsolidate his forces. He would always go. Basically, if you're losing one battle, you can always move your energy. You can always move your resources, move your troops to another battle where you have the advantage, right? This is kind of like Sun Tzu's Art of War in a nutshell as well. When you're weak, appear strong. When you're strong, appear weak, right? Exploit the enemy's gaps, retreat. If you're fighting a battle, right, that cannot be won, there's no point in fighting to the death. It's always better to retreat from that battle and regroup and counterattack. So this is strategy, right? This is strategy that I'm talking about. So strategy, like I said, can apply to your just normal everyday life. It doesn't matter if you're a leader. It doesn't matter if you're just working at some job. It doesn't matter what your position is. At some point, life is going to throw you some shit. And strategy is going to be a really helpful tool that's going to help you get out of these sticky situations. That's going to help you fight these opponents. That is going to help you stop this downfall, this spiral that you're experiencing. Taking a negative and turning it into a positive, or just simply retreating, licking your wounds, and coming back whenever you're stronger. Now, this can apply to business. This can apply to personal relationships. This can apply to friendships, family, group dynamics, social dynamics, dating, right? Your girlfriend could break up with you. A lot of us will see this as a negative event, right? Your girl breaks up with you. Well, how can we use strategy to make this negative situation into a positive? How can we change it into a positive, right? So your girlfriend breaks up with you. She broke up with you. Well, you could say, okay, great. I have a lot more free time now. I can save my money better. I can focus on building a business. I can focus on learning. that language or whatever. You can take those resources, because we know having a girlfriend is great. You know, you may love her, but she's definitely not making your life better financially. You know, girls cost money, right? So losing that girl will bring you, you know, better finances, better, you know, more free time to use. Maybe you could increase your money, you know, or you could look at it this way, you know, hey, you know, she broke up with me. That just shows that she was not the girl for me. You know, I can find a better girlfriend. Now I have options. Now I'm single. Now that gives me freedom to live the life the way I want. Okay, so that's another example of Wu Wei in action. You know, taking another negative situation, turning it into a positive. Even if something really bad happens to you, even if something really bad, someone you care about dies, for example, you can use that situation as energy to make yourself better. You could use that to, you know, as fuel. You know, even hatred can be used as fuel. Negative energy, in a way, can always be used as fuel to create positive energy. This energy can be redirected, it can be converted, it can be refined, and it can be turned into something so much more useful than just dwelling on negative events, than just being, you know, worrying about stuff, you know, thinking about all the negative things that can happen. In strategy, you always have to jump and be quick. You always have to turn the tide quickly and create positive situations, right? This is how you retreat from battles that you're losing, and this is how you come back and win the battle, when you're stronger, when you're better, when you're smarter. Also, a lot of the times, small defeats, setbacks, these are some of our biggest learning moments. These are some of our moments where we learn the most about ourselves. This is where we learn about what we're missing. Moments, setbacks, and failures are moments where you can re-strategize, where you can recalibrate yourself, where you can recalibrate your routine, your mission, you know, your discipline. So that's another thing, taking setbacks and instead thinking of them as, oh, you know, I lost so much progress. A lot of the greatest entrepreneurs, generals, politicians, influential people see setbacks as learning lessons, right? See your setbacks as a learning lesson. Now you're smarter than you were yesterday. Now you've been exposed to more negative things. These things can harden you. These things can make you tougher, stronger. You know, every single person that's tough, that's mentally resilient, do you think that they never went through bullshit? Every mentally resilient, tough, strong person is strong or resilient for a reason, because they've been through shit. They've been through a bunch of shit. It's not their first rodeo. It's like that saying, this ain't my first rodeo, right? Once you've been through enough negative events, once you've had enough shit happen to you, right? Especially failures, less and less they start to affect you. They don't affect you as much. The first time something bad happens to you, it's always really painful, and it sucks, and it feels like you're dying, and it feels like your life is falling apart. But having enough failures and bouncing back, coming back from those failures, you realize that it's just a normal thing. It's like, you know, when you zig, you zag, right? You ever heard that saying? When you zig, humans zig and zag. They go up and down, left and right, like you're on a chart. But what's important is that you're constantly on the route to your ultimate mission, ultimate goal in life. And yeah, all those setbacks, even, you know, you could start a business and it could fail. And this business could fail. But I guarantee you, you're going to have 10 times more experience in business than you had before you started that business. Nothing you start, nothing that you begin, no challenge is going to go. You're never really, if you win the first time you do something, you're lucky. I'll just be straight up with it. You're lucky, or you trained or disciplined yourself to a maximum extent, but that's through repetition and reps. But you know what I'm saying? Most people don't make it the first time. Most people don't make it the second time, third time, fourth time, but eventually you will make it. You will win. You will make that shot, and you will be fine. Okay? So that's my advice for today, is to take negative or losing situations and turn them around. Think outside the box. Think, how can I make this something positive? How can I make this go into my favor? How can I make my enemy help me? How can I use this attack against me to actually help me? How can I use this setback to propel me forward? Okay? All right. I have a coaching link down below if you guys want to talk one-on-one. If you guys want to boost yourself and get out of that rut, go ahead and book a call with me. This is Dark Warrior. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Peace.